Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are. Very excited to be on this platform this morning. So I'm going to be brief uh, to introduce the people who are going to be in the live session today. And it is a Young Titans platform where young professionals and entrepreneurs join after their college graduation or when they are in the workforce to propel their career, get inspired, and become a part of a thriving community. If you're not a part of it, you are definitely missing out. Please share this live or recording to your friends, family, and others, and like our page, subscribe our channel. Please send us live questions in the Facebook comments, and you can always email us at info@unextleadership.com. That's the letter U, nextleadership.com. YTP fills in the gap from what you know and what you need to know for you to succeed. In short, YTP fills in the gap between you and the leadership as young professionals embarking in the workforce. So there are schools, colleges, and departments to start a career. On the other hand, they have leadership training and many technical trainings in each corporation for their workforce. But what is out there for the new graduates to excel? Most likely, there is nothing constructed or nothing really professional yet. So we're trying to see if we can help that gap fill in and help you to succeed. So if you know anybody who is in that age group or looking to change their career or getting into the workforce, please share it with them as well. Excuse me, just to let you know, my name is Sheikh Roman. I'm an engineer by background, but liked leadership and became I became a trainer and then a leadership trainer as well. And then I love to work with young people, and that's how we started this group. Now, there's a few other people who are not going to be joining today. One of them is Raj Kapoor, who is on a regular basis. He's here, and he's a mentor, friend, and guide to me as well. He's a finance coach. And then there's Jan Roberts, who is also from the Netherlands. He's not going to be in here. Arti Moore, who is from South Africa. He's not going to be here this time either. But we have Ron Cooper, who is with me here. Ron, if you'd like to say a couple of things, or you're okay, I'll actually let you do that later on. Let me just say a few other names who are going to be here, and I'm going to bring them on board one at a time. One of them is Dr. Halida, and she is definitely a inspiration to us, to me, and she's a guide and mentor to many others. And she's here as an advisor for the YTP, for Young Titans platform.
Thank you very much.
Then we have some guests, co-host or co-moderator as well. One of them, he was here last time also. He is Glenn Hodges from Chattanooga, Tennessee. He's a speaker, teacher, trainer, and he has dedicated to help people, and he's a lifelong learner. We will hear him and his knowledge and questions today. Looking forward to that. Then we have Jeff Avilis. He is also a trainer and a speaker. He has spoken, in fact, with Les Brown in the same stage just recently, and he works with different techniques to help you grow and coach you. Lastly, but not last, or as a co-host or co-moderator, we have Kevin Johnson. He's a very good friend of mine and also helping and me and this platform to grow. He is a leadership trainer. He used to be in the Department of Defense in the U.S. Air Force. I mean, U.S. Army, and he is now retired. And then, of course, I will let Ron to invite our speaker, Jessica Koch. Ron, to you.
Shake and Young Titans, thank you for the opportunity to share with you today. Jessica Koch is our featured speaker today, and she is a well-known, world-renowned entrepreneur. She is known internationally for her speaking. You will learn very shortly after her presentation starts. She is a very high energy person, and she has her energy rooted in the fact that she wants to teach others. She wants to transfer knowledge to those of you who want to know more about, in the case today, LinkedIn. LinkedIn is largely known as the premier professional site which professionals share information. Jessica has the unique ability to take what sometimes may seem to be complicated information and be able to transfer that knowledge in a very understandable way to her audience. So today, as Jessica focuses on LinkedIn, she's going to incorporate as well marketing techniques. That is, how can you make yourself known to a professional audience? And the way you think, and the way you think shows up many times in the way you write. And so Jessica is going to show us today the intricacies of LinkedIn while also explaining what professionals can and should be doing on LinkedIn to make themselves known. Jessica, come on in and share your energy and insights with us. Good to have you with us.
Thank you for the kind introduction, and thank you all for having me. I'm very humbled to be on such a global, amazing cause and site and resource. You know, it is our job as leaders to help bring in the next and mentor the next generation of leaders. And so I am very glad to be a part of that.
Wonderful, wonderful. We can actually start sharing this live presentation for the young titans to watch live. And if you have any question whatsoever, please type it in, put it in the comment in Facebook or YouTube, wherever you're watching, or send us email at info@unexleadership.com. And you can also ask others who are in that group, need the help and need LinkedIn, especially how to utilize that for your career to grow, how to shift your career, or how to embark on a new profession that you would like. That's where that and many other things, that a few other things that Jessica is going to reveal to you today. But we'll let Jessica to start her presentation, and we'll get going on that. So please share it with everybody, and or tag your friends so they can get the benefit as well. Jessica, over to you.
Okay, well then here we go. Let's get the share screen thing working for us here. Let's see if it'll give me, let's do, here we go. All right, are you seeing my screen okay? I'm guessing that's a yes. When I'm in here, I cannot see you guys or the chat. So someone's gonna have to unmute and talk to me if a question is asked or something is needed.
Yes,
otherwise,
we can see it just fine. Looks good.
Okay, you can see and hear me. Here we go. Everybody ready? Hold on to your hats. Okay, LinkedIn. What is going on with the world of LinkedIn? Why should we be on it? How should we use it? Who should be present on it? And why is it so incredibly valuable? Well, I'm going to start with the big golden nugget. The largest golden nugget about LinkedIn is that over 40% of our globe's millionaires live here. I don't know about you or where you're going with your career, but I want to hang out with people with the resources, because not because money is everything. However, it allows us to be a resource and wrap our arms around and embrace and provide resources to others. So if we can hang in that crowd and help benefit the world better by having access to more resources, then that is what we're headed to do. Okay, so LinkedIn, who should be on it? Well, I have to tell you, I have had the honor of teaching high school students, college students, early entrepreneurs. I have worked throughout the country with workforce development for people who are in transition. There is a big percentage, I don't even know what the number is right now, but it's very high in our country alone, not to mention others who are unemployed. This is a great resource for them, but that is a common misconception, okay? People often say to me, oh, well, isn't this just for people looking for a job? Absolutely not. The C-suite of the Fortune 1000 are on LinkedIn. The governments are entering LinkedIn. I know this because I've been hired and asked many times to speak for our lead government purchasing officers, executive directors of county governments nationally, public school system superintendents. I've taught classes for their associations, and it lives on their portal. Globally, I've taught classes for tourism organizations to help the tourism industry. Economic development, I've done work with them in collaboration to teach LinkedIn. So colleges and universities are on LinkedIn. Nonprofits, I've taught classes for nonprofits on LinkedIn because, you know, again, 40% of our globe's millionaires, that's where the resources are. That's where the philanthropy is living. So establishing yourself in LinkedIn as an influencer, what does that mean? That means you are highly followed. You have a large following. You have something good and incredible to say, and you're a thought leader in your industry. How do you show that? How do you establish that? That is what we're going to run through today. So at the top, we're going to start from the top here. And because of how this streaming platform works, I'm going to have to reference several websites. So if anyone in the background and in the team can drop in the chat the websites I'm discussing, since I can't bounce around to all of them like I normally do, that would be hugely helpful for the audience. The very first site that I'm going to tell you about that is free, it has a free version. So not a free trial, no credit card required. You can generally use it for free. I've been using it for free for many years now. I don't know how long that will last, but as of now, it's been for many years. They have a genuine free version. And that website is called Canva. It's canva.com. Canva has templates that will allow and help you to make images that right size and fix in spaces. The first template you want to make, because this is your first impression. So this part here that we're talking about is called your top card. The very first impression is the space behind your face, that LinkedIn banner that is behind what I hope is a fabulous headshot. Before we go to the space behind your face, let's talk about the headshot for 1 second. So there's all kinds of studies. If you do any studies about human beings and psychology of human beings and what lights us up from the moment we enter this earth is another human's face, okay? So facial expressions, eye contact, even in a photograph, is so very powerful. You really want to make sure that your headshot is close in, like you can see mine, that you're smiling. That makes you feel welcoming. I'm sure you've seen some photographs of individuals who just don't seem very approachable. You want to seem very approachable. So if you look at some of the images that we just randomly get from, you can see, you can tell, you can be the judge of ones that you feel are professionally done, that are welcoming, that are good, right? For images in a professional standpoint. So if you can judge other people's, then be a stronger judge of your own, okay? So the sunglasses, I'm sure this person is a lovely, amazing individual. However, the sunglasses block us from seeing her actual eyes, right? And I have seen ones where people aren't smiling, you know, and they just don't seem as approachable. So you really want to make sure and you really don't want to be this person, right? We don't, I'm sure, again, amazing individual, but we don't want to be a stick person. We really want to be present on these social media platforms, because we are opening the door to the beginning of our relationship starts here. See, and do you see these blue plate backgrounds? These people are using the space behind their face, that LinkedIn banner that the good LinkedIn gave them, right? So in their birthday suits, essentially, we need to have this dressed with a message that speaks of you. It just seems like, you know what, I've got it together, I've made an effort, and I have something professional here. You know, even if it's mine is very clean and simplistic, but it is not what LinkedIn set up for me. So go into Canva, you're going to look for, you set up your free account, you're going to look for LinkedIn banner. They actually have a template. Now, when you create the template, I'm going to tell you that it is not perfectly sized. You want to stay a little bit below the line at the top on the Canva template, and a little bit above the line on the bottom, because it is not perfectly right sized. So you come in here and you'll add it. You'll add the photo when you make it. So you make it on Canva. You download it from Canva as a JPEG or a PNG. And then you will upload and add it here once that's complete. And that is how you fix this up for yourself. Now, your headline. Your headline is very important. It not just is the part of your first impression, but it also follows you around. So if you make a comment or a post, or you tag someone, or you do anything else in LinkedIn, it follows your headshot around. So you want people to know what you do. So it could be your title. Maybe you're an IT specialist, or maybe you're in the hospitality industry, or maybe you're in, you know, you're starting a career in, I mean, there's just so many wonderful things. IT is one of my favorites, and it's so popular right now. But whatever it is, your title and your position with the company, and then what you do to either to support that team or support your clients, or if you're an entrepreneur and you have your own business, how you're helping your customers, right? And this is, you know, there's no, without a doubt, exactly what I do and how I help people, right? This next section here, will let people know this is kind of private for you. So if you only see this, if you were looking at my LinkedIn from your page, you wouldn't see this. You're going to see this on your page, and then you'll see it here. So they want you to let recruiters know if you're hiring, and then you can let everyone know if you're doing other support. And they used to, and I believe they still do, they have moved it, have an option for you to also be open to mentoring other people and information. You also have up here is your contact information. This often gets missed, and I'll show you why, because it's a form inside a form. There are layers of form. One of the true keys to this piece here is making sure you start from head to toe and truly fill this out as completely and entirely as you can. And then set a date on your calendar once a quarter to come in and make any updates. So were you featured on a podcast? Did you achieve an amazing project? Did you go to a virtual conference and meet some great people? Make sure you've reached out to connect to those people. So make sure that you're updating your information here. And I'm going to show you how to do some of this. Now, this is a really fun feature, and I don't think I clicked the button so that you can hear this, but when you have time, you can use this LinkedIn URL at the top of, well, maybe I can drop it in the chat. I don't know. I will try. This is my LinkedIn URL, so feel free to connect with me. And when you do, you can play this, little button here. And when you play it, I tell you my name, but I also tell you what I do, because that gives you, the point of this button is to help people pronounce your name correctly. However, there's a bit more room than there, so you might as well give them a little bit more about how you can help them or what you can do. And I'm going to say to you that we need attorneys and doctors and architects and IT professionals and all of these kind of amazing careers and industries that are your typical employee situation. And if that's you, fabulous. But I would encourage you, because for many years, that's what I did. I worked for other corporations. I was a high-level business development person and professional. I spoke on behalf of other corporations. I did government sales, and I grew sales for other companies. I wish when I was younger, and you guys are young, and so this is a gift that us as more seasoned leaders are giving you, is I wish someone had told me, Jessica, it's okay to work for and learn and get experience and grow your career building someone else's company. But it is incredibly invaluable for you to also begin something small and passionate, even if it's just a side part-time thing that is your own company that you are building for yourself. I know that's not for everyone, but at least consider it, because I wish someone would have opened that window or that eye or that idea for me, because that would have made a huge difference in my life overall. So I feel like I would be misserving you if I didn't tell you that. And a wonderful thing about that is there are so many resources to help you. Well, if you say, oh, I don't even have a clue, right? What would I do? Or how would I get started? There's all these wonderful organizations, not just mentors like this on this platform, which are fantastic, but also like SBA and economic development. All these people offer free consulting to help you achieve and even grow, just like I said, something small, because if you started it now, by the time you reached, the 47 and fabulous that I am, you could have something really big that is willable and givable to your children potentially. So consider it if it might be right for you. All right, so we're going to roll through here. Your pencil here. So your pencil here is how you add this picture. Your pencil here is how you are going to come in and change your image, your name. I like your name to be as clean as possible. Even if you've earned many letters behind your name, that's fabulous. But you have to remember that there are 3 places you're speaking to every time you do anything on the web, anywhere on the web, on any website or on any platform. You're always talking to 3 audiences. One is the human audience that reads you, right? The other one is the platform itself, because they're looking to see how active is she? How complete is her profile? What's happening with her? Is she really using our space? What kind of participant is she? And that can matter because you can get some of the new bells and whistles early. You can get access to beta testing and things they're trying, some fun new features. They're going to give those first, right, to the high-end user, because they're trying to test. So why would they give it to someone who isn't in here a lot or doesn't have a really complete profile? So you're speaking to the platform. You're also speaking to Google and the search engines, all the search engines. I know Google's the one we talk about all the time, but there are other search engines as well, and they're looking for things that are on different websites to answer the questions of the searches that, millions of us are all putting in on a regular basis. So you have to be careful what you're doing and think, what am I saying to all 3 of these audiences every time you complete something? So please keep that in mind. Your name stays clean because there are other places for you to share your accolades and the things you have with blood, sweat, and tears and lots of study and investment and resources you have earned. And I really greatly respect those things. However, when people search you, they're not going to search you and the accomplishment letters that are behind your name. They're going to just search your name because that is how they know you. So you want them to find you. So allow them to find you and help Google help them find you, or whatever search engine you're using, so that your name is clean. That is the reasoning for that. Then we already talked about headline. Your current position, this can auto-populate based on what you have in your experience below. We'll get there soon. The same with education. I like for you to give at least the major metropolitan area near you, the industry you'd like to be in. And then here's that contact information form that gets so easily missed because there's an additional pencil. Remember I told you it's a form inside a form. You want to come in here. One of the things that also gets commonly missed is there is the availability for you to have up to 3 websites. I'm a believer, no matter what your industry is, and even if you're an employee, you should have a YouTube channel because you should be adding value to your industry as a thought leader in your industry. Even if it's comments on what's currently happening in your industry, on what's in the papers, on what's in the press releases about what's happening in IT or cybersecurity or whatever your industry is. I mean, even truly, if you were in roofing and you were going to look to own your own roofing company at some point, I mean, we all have houses. Someone's got to put roofs on them. You can be talking about the materials, the techniques, what's going on with them. Even if you're just a team member at this point, you can really make yourself shine no matter what industry you're in. That's what I'm trying to show you. You want to have at least 3 URLs here. So that can be your website. It can be your YouTube channel. It could be your Facebook page. It could be your Instagram, whatever's a website, right? Whatever's a URL. If you do own your own business and you have courses and you're a speaker, you could also put like your free gift link, right? That would be a good thing to have here. I choose my phone number. This is a personal choice. So whether it's your company number, like I said, if you're an employee, you could put the corporate line, whatever is comfortable for you. And then I use a PO box as I own my own company. And then again, birthday is a personal choice. They don't have the year included. I'm kind of thinking the hackers are focused on, you know, hacking things like bank accounts and stuff like that, not LinkedIn as much. I know there are a lot of things that go wrong on some of these social media platforms, but pretty sure I don't know how much they can possibly do with just the date and the month. I use it because it sends notifications and awareness to people you're connected to, and it keeps you top of mind when your birthday does roll around, and it helps keep other people top of mind when their birthday rolls around so that you can wish them happy birthday and reach out to them. This has actually gotten me, I got a keynote speaking opportunity in Denver, Colorado, and work with several new customers as well as renewed work with a client who had, you know, forgotten about me. She was on a speaking committee for a women's event that wanted to have a keynote speaker, and she saw my happy birthday roll through her notifications, went, oh yeah, Jessica called me, said, hey, we'd like to fly you out. Can you keynote speak for our women's group? I said, absolutely. It was awesome. And all because I have decided to completely and fully fill out my LinkedIn. So I'm trying to tell you, there is strong power here because of course, everyone's not thinking about you every day. So we have to give them some help. Here's one of the other things I teach every time I speak is if you're not there, they can't find you. So you have to be present on some of these platforms. If you don't tell them, they cannot know. You must fill this out completely, because if you have certifications and classes and achievements, if you don't tell them about them, they're not going to know about them. It's your responsibility to educate people about you, whether you're in an employee-based career or you're a company owner, even more so then, right? And if you don't schedule, it won't happen. Those are the 3 very important things. You already heard me telling you to once a quarter put on your calendar to go in and update what happened that quarter on LinkedIn. So once you've gotten it, all the really hard work done and you've filled it out from head to toe, it's just a matter of a quarterly little maintenancing, right? And then reaching out and building the actual relationships is the ongoing effort and investment you make here on this platform. About Us section really needs to be here. Again, you must tell them what's going on. There are 3 places if you would like to be contacted or found that you should have your information, especially if you're in the, oh my goodness, a real estate agent. This is a true story. I had a referral for an agent in New York, and I was looking on LinkedIn to see who I was connected to because I didn't know someone personally, but I needed to offer a resource to someone I knew, so I was going to do some vetting and reaching out, and I found a fantastic one. He was like listed as top, and I wanted to give him a call. Well, I checked here, and I couldn't find his phone number or any way to contact him, and I checked here in the About Us, and I couldn't find any way to contact him. And then I came down here to his current experience, and guess what? I couldn't find any way to contact him. And guess what I did? I didn't call him. He didn't get the referral. I moved on to the next person. So you'll notice in all 3 spaces, in my current experience, in my About Us section, and in my contact info section, all 3 places contain how I want people to reach me. So, okay, you say you don't want your phone number out there. Okay, but however you want them to reach you, especially if you're looking for a job or you're looking for the next best opportunity to step up through your career, which is the course of a lot of how things go in that kind of situation, unless you own your own company. And if you do own your own company, you still want people to find you and be able to contact you, right? Okay, so featured just really makes your profile look powerful. I have my speaker sheet, so if people want to have me speak, they can easily download this. It has references, talks that I do, places I've spoken in the past, and a brief bio on me. This is a place I was featured in a book that it's actually distributed regionally in Washington, D.C. metro area. It's called Profiles of Success in the D.C. metro area, and it features executive leaders in our area. And this goes to my particular chapter, right? So again, if I don't tell people about, you know, how great I am, if we don't do a little bit of this, then nobody else will. And they're not going to see my value or know about some of my achievements, which will may or may not help them, right, decide. And typically it will help them decide whether they want to work with me as a customer or hire me for their company or have me speak at their event. Because, you know, you need to be building up your achievements and sharing them so that people know about them. It's not a bragging situation. It's about establishing your professionalism and what you bring to their audience, right? So your experience, this section here is just information for you. It's just tracking for you to see what's up. And this section here is just stuff that I've done, either posts I've made, articles I've written, comments I've made on other people's posts, those kinds of things. This section is my experience section. So unless you are, even if you are fresh out of college, you should have at least 3 work experiences, even if one of those work experiences happens to be volunteer. And yes, there's a separate volunteer section, but 3 is a powerful number. If you are not a spring chicken and fresh out of college, then you should have probably anywhere from 3 to 7 experiences. And the reason is they're stepping stones, they're storytellers. This is a living resume. However, I own my own company. I am not looking to be anyone's employee. I'm not using this for employment. However, it does get me hired for corporations to have me consult with them for their sales teams, and companies to have me work with them. And part of that's because I share my story and my journey of all the places and the things that I've done and what I achieved there. And you can see detailed information of the kind of thing that I provided for these different companies, right? And this is the stepping stones of success that led me to be this person that they would want to have working for them, or they would want to work with as a consultant. So this tells your career story. Then you also have the ability here to add pieces of media, and you do want to have some media here. Now, whether or not it's the exact same as what's above, it doesn't matter that much. Some people read the magazine from the back of the book. Some people start from the beginning. Unless they're actually stalking you, they're probably not going to read your entire profile from head to toe anyway. But it is very important that you have it filled out from head to toe, because they may look at some of your featured stuff here, or they may decide to stop in this zone and check it here. So you do want to have, like I said, the information on how to contact you and things spread out through your profile. It's okay if there's a bit of repetition. It's not the end of the world, right? Education, you want all and every bit of education here. And I have a great level of respect for people who are highly, highly educated. I am the Italian mother of 7, and much of my education and success have come from actually achieving things. I worked with a government cooperative organization that had never put out a service-based, competitively bid cooperative bid for government contract work for the service industry. They had only done widgets and pencils and things that you can actually buy. And I worked with them where I blazed a trail for them to put out their first bid of that kind and helped the company achieve it. And then I proceeded to market it throughout the country to all different kinds of government entities, and landed and achieved those contracts for the company I was working for. So I have my, my experience from the University of Life is what I call it. And then I do have some college, not as much as, I wish I did. However, all and any program you've ever done in any college, even if it was just one online course or one weekend workshop or whatever it was, you need to list that university, because Now, officially with the university itself, you probably can only become an alumni if you meet certain criteria. But in the world of LinkedIn, you can be an alumni of every single organization. Their only requirement online and in the space of the world of LinkedIn is that at some point you've taken a class and you've given that organization money, right? And that is what lets you into the fold. So always be honest, always be transparent, but do leverage the opportunities that you have. So if you got your main core degrees at, say, these two universities, but you took some other side things at these other universities, please do not exclude them, because when it gets to the point of getting to groups, you're totally going to want to have them. Licenses and certifications. So let's take a look at this add a section profile, because you're not all going to have all these spaces on your profile if you haven't completed. So the intro is that space I showed you underneath our name that we just see, and they have these little blocks for us to look at. The about section, I filled this section out and it's complete. The featured section, we're able here to add post, articles, links, and media. So that means the videos you created. And again, even if you're just even if you're a valuable, not just a valuable employee of a corporation, you can still bring thought leadership videos that you create. Just jump on and say, hey, ran across this article in the Washington Post on our industry. Here's some of the things that the author talked about. Cite the author, be authentic. Here's some of my thoughts on where I see the industry going and why. And here's some of the things I've learned since I've been in it. Here's some of the innovative things I've seen being researched in other parts of the country or even other parts of the world about it. Fascinating. What do you think? Right? So you're allowed to express your opinion. It's one of the beautiful, amazing things about our country. And hopefully globally you have this ability as well. And especially on social media platforms where we have this voice and we're able to share our thoughts. And when you do that, it makes you look more powerful despite your youth. Youth is a wonderful thing, but it can seem sometimes, I'm sure, in some cases as a disadvantage, right? If you're trying to establish yourself and have people respect you and respect your knowledge, there is some extra effort you have to make, because we earned some of these gray hairs that we have, and you're just beginning. And so that's a very exciting, wonderful opportunity for you. But on the other hand, it does require you in some levels to earn this powerful respect, to begin to go up the ladder, if you would, and be seen and respected as an industry thought leader. And so you have to do some things to earn that. So you have to have some thoughts, right? And some videos and articles. I'm going to show you how to do some articles in here will help you achieve that. Background. So this is where you can add your work experience, your educations, your licenses, and your certifications. And here's what I'm going to say about volunteer experience. I'm going to say it's one of the most powerful, beneficial thing you can do with your time, and the most rewarding. And you will always receive 100% more than you give. So find some organizations that you care about. If you don't have some volunteer experience, my thought is, my statement is, get some, okay? Find something you care about that is bigger than you. It's bigger than padding your bank account. It's bigger than your career, and embrace the world in some way. And there is Kevin talking to us. I appreciate you too, Kevin. You want to make sure you're filling in this volunteer experience. That can be super powerful for you, especially if you do something that is strong in your personal career. You want to make sure that you cite this, okay? You want to share what you do, what projects you're working on, how you're supporting them. And even if it's agreeable and possible for that organization to give you a letter of reference, on their organizational letterhead stating the service or the kindness that you provided, that can be really beneficial. The leaders of these nonprofit organizations, the board members, the executive directors, these are really powerful connections for you. I'm not saying that you should give to get, but I am saying that it is a clear and common side effect. When you do give, you often receive valuable connections, valuable resources, valuable experiences, and things that are more important, like I said, than money to begin with. But please cite and note your achievements, your journey as you go. It's so, so very important. And then when you're building your connections, that brings that up an important point. You are young, so you can think back to most high school students actually have to produce and provide some volunteer time, right? Reach out to those leaders at those organizations and ask to connect with them on LinkedIn. Reach out to the principal of your school, the superintendent of the public school systems you attended, the teachers that you liked, the guidance counselors, reach out to the people in your university, the leaders of the university, connect with them. They're connected with some really powerful people. Do some research on the alumni that came out of the college. Some of them are the CEOs of Fortune 1000 companies right now. They came out of that university. Do some homework on who came out of the university that you work with, because that may lead you to the next great thing in your career journey or in the ownership of your own company's journey, right? If you're an entrepreneur and you're going that direction. Make sure that you're connecting with your parents are in careers in a lot of cases, right? And they have a corporation they work with, and that corporation has leadership, and leverage these relationships and these connections and start bringing value. Reach out to get permission to connect with them professionally, and then give value. So you're going to write articles, you're going to be present, you're going to like and comment and share and promote their events. You're going to be a participant in this community, because it is a community, and it is one that if you nurture it through the course of your career, it will do nothing but give back to you. Now, skills and endorsements. Skills is very important. Remember how we talked about there's 3 people we're always talking to on LinkedIn, and well, actually anytime you're on the computer, there's 3 audiences. You are really heavily talking to the search engines and the platform itself when you completely fill out all 50. You get 50, use every one. This is prime real estate. If you haven't heard that term before, you really are young and you need to learn it, because real estate, it's location, 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 right? You need to be located. This is going to help you. This is a built-in, think of it as a built-in keyword space for you. One of the things you could do yourself a favor, if you listen to me, is create a Word doc that has 50 plus keywords for your industry on it. On that Word doc, on the top half, paste those terms and those industry keywords, and your skills are part of the industry keywords, and separate them by comma. Copy and paste that same grouping and then separate by hashtag, because then you don't have to hurt your brain so much. We shouldn't be filling it with things that aren't important, that we can easily grab and reference somewhere else if we do the prep work. So build that industry keyword, and this will actually help you do it. So there's 2 options here. The pencil is for editing. Let me show you what that does. That'll allow you to, there are only 3 that show. Okay, the rest only show if you hit show more. But again, these are being used for the search engine, right, of being found by the platform and the Googles of the world and the other search engines of the world. So you can see that I have filled in lots of sales related and consulting related, because this is what I want to be found for. But you might even notice that I have the word real estate in here. And the reason is because I do a lot of work supporting it's in here somewhere, but I do a lot of work supporting the real estate industry with social media development and virtual assistant work, because it's one of the divisions of my company. If you want something specific, these should be the things you are just dynamo at, okay? You personally can do. They're not just industry keywords because there's no skills police. We want to be honest and authentic. However, again, I'm not a real estate agent, but they're part of my keyword search because I bring value to that industry with my services, okay? But that's not what I put up here, right? Because then that would be misleading, right? To say that I'm in real estate, because I am not, right? So you want to put up here what you are the best at. And so if you say, maybe I wanted to do marketing instead of sales process. So I could move this one down. Well, actually I have to unpin it. So you unpin it, and then you pin the one you do work. You pin the one you do want to have at the top. So that's how these show up at the top. Now, other than that, you can move them around by dragging these little lines, and you can delete them all together. That's all you can do in the pencil. Delete, move them around, pin and unpin, okay? So now to actually build up the 50, because I have 50. Well, I have 49 because that's the only way I can still show and teach examples, and I teach this all the time. So I have to leave one out. But what you'll find here is, and these are some suggestions. So LinkedIn made some of these suggestions. They're all great suggestions. However, I don't have any more space. But say you're, how about IT? Information. Okay. So if you're in IT, look, maybe you're in healthcare IT, you could still put IT. They give you all these nice suggestions, and you can, once you've taken one of these, then they're no longer going to show up in here. So if I clicked one of these, then it's going to take me back to an empty box, and I can put the word information in again and snag some more of their suggestions. And this will actually help you build out your document of 50. All right, so the next thing is recommendations. Again, if you don't have some, get some, right? You need to reach out to all the people, no matter how young you are, that have known you. They know your character, they know whatever, and find them on LinkedIn, connect with them on LinkedIn, and then ask them, phone them, kindly and professionally ask them to please write you a reference, because my goal at some point, hopefully by the end of 2021, I am going to have 100 references. Now, if you have 3 to 5, you're doing fantastic. Most people on LinkedIn have less than 10. So your goal really is to get that going. Now let's go back here. So we did skills. Accomplishments is huge. This is a lot to complete. Now, remember I said the first key for you as a new person on this space and establishing your business, your career, whatever you're using this, is making sure you're as complete as possible. Publications, we've become a self-published world. So you really want to add, if you have an ebook, if you have, you can link back to blogs. If you have a blog on your article, you can link back to the description in there and your YouTube. You published a video. So really think creatively about this. Doesn't have to just be a book published by some famous publishing company. Now, patents is clear. That's patents are patents. Courses, you've taken a ton of amazing courses. Highlight the ones that, I think this was a joke, Mom of the Year, where I have 7 kids. Just noticed that. Courses, highlight the courses that you've done to achieve things for yourself. Projects can be things you're doing, you did inside of college and over the course of receiving your degree that was connected to your career focus. If you're an entrepreneur, it can be things you're building in your company. Mine is, one of my latest project is building this division in my company for virtual assistants. Honors and awards, that is a fantastic one. Make sure you're sharing what you've done. I know it sounds silly, but even, perfect attendance is a powerful statement about you. It shows you're consistent and reliable, and really they want people like that in their organization, in their life, as a consultant, whatever. They want to know you're going to show up and you're going to be there and they can count on you. I think it's Cal Ripken. Maybe it was Cal Ripken Jr. One of them got an award for pretty much showing up to work every day, right? And it was a big deal, and everybody made a big deal about it because it matters. So think about the awards and you can go, oh, that's not a good enough award. That's not a big deal. So think about that. Test scores can or can be really helpful depending on what you're doing, your industry, and whether that helps you. Languages, you have at least one, we hope, that is your core language. And then sign language counts, multiple languages, really, really powerful. Organizations, if you work for, say, an architect firm or some other organization, maybe even if you work in the hospitality industry or the restaurant industry, whatever you're working in, that company 9 times out of 10 is a member of their local chamber of commerce, their National Association of Restaurants, they're a part of the National Association of Architects, or they're connected to some large national trade or association of some kind, right? You, as an employee or a member or a group or part of that thing, is guilty by association. You are connected to them based on your relationship as an employee. Okay. So you want to list that because it's so, so, so powerful. Interests. This is things you're following. Now, I get told all the time, oh, yeah, I'm in my college alumni. And really, you have just followed the school, okay? You're not an alumni member. I am not an alumni of the University of Maryland. I've done some work with them. My husband's a graduate from there. I follow it, but I am not in the group because I am not an alumni. Groups and the company pages and the school pages are totally different. Groups are your absolute most powerful. I believe the free version, and everything I'm showing you, by the way, is in the free version. You can have up to 100 at this point. But groups are huge, okay? You want to be, first of all, you want all of the organizations that have a high level of loyalty and devotion and dedication to one another. So that starts with every single community college, university, educational organization you ever attended. There is a high level, it's human nature. There's all kinds of studies done on it. And I need to pull those together because one of them was my favorite, where they did this crazy research to see how far would an older alumni go to help a brand new student, even just looking at their college. And they did things like they drove, across states to help somebody move. They did all kinds of crazy stuff because there just is this connection with the university. It's a human nature thing. So universities, any other organizations that people feel very powerful for. So think about anything that someone would take a picket sign and walk around for, to save the whales, to religious organizations, Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts, like these clubs where you feel endeared to, organizations that support animals and pets, and organizations that, support the country, or different diseases. I know there's ones for like dementia and other organizations that people feel incredibly powerful about, that cause and invoke emotion. Those are the other groups that you want to join. And then after that, you want to think about your industries groups. So if you are an entrepreneur, you own your own business, and you're maybe I'm going to go back to roofing. Maybe you own a roofing company. I don't know. I don't know why this is the example today, but it is. Or maybe you own your own restaurant, or whatever you own. You want to join some groups that are based on that industry. And then you want to join groups wherever your customer is. And whether you're an employee or an entrepreneur, you still want to do that because your company still has customers. So you want to be engaging and do something that's called social listening of where your what they're talking about, so that you can change and improve your company's systems, processes, products, whatever, because you can hear what their challenges are and serve them and step up to the plate and make it happen. The other groups that you want to join are fun ones, because again, there's a really sense of closeness and collaboration and a desire to help you achieve whatever it is you're trying to achieve when you join groups like runners groups, like you run marathons, or maybe you like to kayak, or maybe you bungee cord jump, or maybe you're a cooker. You love to cook. You're a chef. Maybe you love, you can laugh if you want, but there's actually knitting groups on LinkedIn. So join these groups. The groups give you this huge benefit. So when you're on the free version, you can only direct message and have a chat with someone you're connected to. So you usually first have to send them an invitation to connect, right? Well, when you're in a group, and I'm in this group, I can talk to any and all of these podcast hosts or radio hosts and see how I might help them with their show, or they might help me with mine. And we might support each other in some way, right? I can direct message them without being connected to them, without paying for the paid version. It's part of the benefit of being in groups. So join your groups. I do need to do a time check and see where we are, because I do at the very least want to show you how to pull together an article. Do we have questions, or what's my time check?
Yeah, I mean, we're okay, Jessica. We're close to about 19-20 minutes left. So however you want, if you want to keep going, that's fine. We can bring that up on the screen, or we can get into some questions and answers. We don't have anything in the live chat, but of course, myself and many others, I'm sure we have some questions. So
I'm going to show you a little
proceed.
bit more information about the toolbar itself, and then I'm going to show you how to make an article quickly, at least the basics, and then we can go into questions from there. I think that'll make us on perfect timing. Okay, away we go.
Please go ahead.
Oops, I muted myself. You need to mute yourself, please. Wrong person. Okay, here we go. So, no, I do not recommend the premium version, Kevin. I see that question. I believe everything I've ever used with all of the C-suite that I've worked with, all of the government, all my years, I think I've been on since 2004. I have never paid LinkedIn a dime because they haven't been smart enough to hire me yet. So I don't see the need, and I've been able to accomplish everything without giving them money. So I'm kind of a believer, and there's lots of other resources, softwares, and tools that we need, that we should invest in those. And if we don't need to pay this one, then we shouldn't. I do love that they exist, and they are really, really important. The reason people who should pay for LinkedIn are advertisers that are in the Fortune 1000, who are recruiting for their businesses constantly and globally growing their workforce. Those people, recruiters should pay LinkedIn. These are all the people who should pay LinkedIn. But if you're a high-level sales, or just using this for industry leadership, influencer support, and even entrepreneurship, there's absolutely no reason, in my opinion, to pay LinkedIn. So that's my truth about that. All right, so this is your home page. So we're going to go across this tab here, and then we're going to look at writing an article quickly. So here you can see this is a post that came across from our good friend Kevin. And so this is my news feed, much like any other feed that you would see in a social media space. So this is what it looks like when we're home. Here's some news that they're pushing. Here's some courses they have. By the way, you don't need this either. You can use lynda.com, and a lot of libraries still pay for that. There was a controversy for a little while. I think it worked itself out. And there's lots of other great education sites that you don't need the Lynda. These are just some things that I'm following. So you can follow events. You can follow certain hashtags, so that'll help populate your feed the way you'd like it to be done. Here's some of my personal pages, and then just a little bit about me. So this is kind of how your home works. This is also where we'll come back to when we look at posting and we look at articles. But I want to work through all these tabs for you here. My network is a really important one. This is where you accept connection requests, and I'm so surprised. I dropped my link in the chat. I'm surprised people watching didn't reach out to connect. Here is, again, some more information from my personal profile, and these are suggestions. Okay, so these are recommended pages for me. They think I should follow these pages, and they're taking this recommendation based on what I've done, right? These are some more recommended pages for you. These are people I might know in the Metro DC area. And again, see, take a look at these headshots. This one, amazing person, I'm sure. Don't know him, but look how dark and far back he is. Where this one is much closer and smiling, right? This one, again, smiling, but way far away. A much better, brighter, cleaner, clearer picture. Think about this. Be judgmental of your own picture as if you were looking at a wall of pictures. How would you stack up in this group? You know, ask yourself that. This is hashtag marketing. It's one of my hashtags. So these are things that newsletters that people who follow that hashtag are following. And so they give all sort of, then they also give me more popular hashtags and make all kinds of recommendations for me. So this is LinkedIn really helping you with your process. Okay, you do want to continually grow your connections. You never ever want to hit this connect button though, right? So what you do want to do is hit their name. And then if the word connect was not right here, you're going to go into more and you'll find it here. Okay, and you're going to want to give a personal note of some kind. So you do want to take 2 seconds and take a look at what she's doing. She owns her own nonprofit, and I have a fundraiser. So my courses and products on my site act as a fundraiser, just like selling tins of popcorn or candles for a nonprofit. They get 40% of the sale. There's an actual affiliate link connected to the nonprofit. So I could reach out to her and say, hey, I work with, well, she works with nonprofit leadership, but I also do help and work and support nonprofits. I would love to connect. That's what I would say to her, right? And I'm in the DC metro area. So you would actually write her a custom note. Okay. If you're going to spend the time to just click and bunch of connect buttons, you know, maybe a couple of those will accept, but most won't. You really do, when you spend the time to actually tell the person why, you know, just a one sentence, why you should connect, because you're not trying to marry them. You know, this is just the first meeting. Then that's much more personal and better than just hitting the connect button. Again, in your connections, this is my actual connections. So this is how I would search them or message them, and that's the other thing that's in this space of my network. Jobs, this is really great for you if you are trying to advance your career. Just keep your finger on the pulse of what's out there and available for you, so you can set up job alerts, and you can ask it to, you know, help you find and see what's available out there and in the line of work that you're interested in doing, right? And it remembers, because I've done some training for JobSource, that I come in here and play with it just to show people and train them, right? And then the other thing I've done though is I have often well, not often, but on occasion, I have reached out to a few companies that had an opening for a sales manager or a sales person, and offered my sales consulting to that organization. Because sometimes, well, not sometimes, a consultant is 100% of the time less expensive than a full-time employee. And often what they need is a better system, a better process, and some training. And so I've been able to find work from a consultant and looking at this a little differently. So not looking to be hired as an employee, but as a consultant with the organization. So that is another good thing to keep in mind, especially if you are an entrepreneur and you have that side kind of thing you're building, whether you're an employee and running your own little side piece, or you're a full-blown entrepreneur and you're dedicated to that. Messaging is just that. It is just messages that you have like any other platform like Facebook or anything else. Facebook Messenger, this is a way for us to chat and have conversations with each other. Notifications are more powerful and more important than you may think. So this is telling me that this particular person and company is looking for leadership development. Well, it looks like they're looking for the client, not the actual trainer, but it does give you those kinds of information. Now, that is something most of the time you can only access through the pro version, but I still have not found it worth investing in that. One of the other things you want to do here is make sure that, you know, you're following people, you're thanking people, you're sending people their happy birthdays and their congratulations, and that you're caught up on what's going on in your notifications. Just again, it tells the platform that you're aware. It also tells the people on the platform that you're playing the game. This is your personal information, how you sign in and sign out, some of the pages that I've made here. And here in work, posting a job, that really is a high dollar service, and really only good, in my opinion, for the Fortune 1000. The Learning Center, again, I think it's a bit pricey, and opportunities other places. Insights are just going to kind of try to show you what's happening in your industry, as far as, it's sort of like Indeed or Glassdoor, where they give you a guess of what's happening in these industries, and then this is going to give you the guess of what's happening in the salary. ProFinder, I believe they've taken that off the game so that you have to pay for that to get it. And then groups is just another way to access your groups. This is where you would create your company page. This can be a bit tricky, unfortunately, and a bit sticky, because once you've set up a company page, LinkedIn won't actually let you take it down. So if you said, oops, I made 2 company pages by accident, you can't delete one. You actually have to contact customer support and tech support with them, and it can be a bit of a pain in the patukas. And you only want to set up a company page if you actually own the company. So even if you're working for a nonprofit and helping out, I would have the leadership set it up, because it's tied to the profile of the person who made it forever. And there isn't a way to separate that. It makes it very complicated for nonprofits and other organizations like that. So LinkedIn has not set up a better way as of yet. And again, I don't work for them. I don't run the company. They haven't been smart enough to ask me yet. So that being said, now let's get into some article writing, and then we'll answer some questions. All right. So first of all, just to make a standard post, again, very good to use Canva, because you can right size images. I just use a Facebook post image size, works really well here for pictures. For just a post, to upload the post picture, you want to put links that you want people to click, like for registration or websites or more information, in the comments below. So if you embed the words in the picture you choose, you can use a site called Pixabay, Pixabay. Those are images you can use free for commercial use. So even if you were selling a workshop or a class without properly citing the photographer, you are able to genuinely use those images for commercial use, meaning they can be on your company website, they could be on the front of a workbook you use, whatever. I mean, I always think it's nice to cite the photographer when you can properly, but just for random posts and using them in the background, of course, that can be time consuming. So go to Pixabay, grab the images, download them, upload them inside of Canva, right size them, then add the words and overlays and effects and movements and things like that to them, to make them engaging as you're scrolling through these feeds. If it's a flat feed and kind of dead and boring, then you're not going to get as much comments, likes, shares, and engagement as you would if you gave it some life. So you can just type a few words here and add a picture, or you can add a picture that already has the word on it. In the picture, like I said, if you have a link you want them to share, you're going to want to click the link in the comments below, and then add that live link to the comments, because then the platforms will like it better and they'll give it some more love, because they don't really like links and the actual body of the post in most cases. This is a button most people don't know about. So if you go in here, you see, if you click this drop. So first of all, I can post this from one of my pages or from myself. Okay. And then also, this is a no-brainer button. Have a Twitter account, whether you use it for anything but all of your Facebook posts, all your LinkedIn posting and LinkedIn articles. Even if you just use it for that, it is worth it. 8 minutes left. I got it. I'll be done in a few seconds. So you're going to want to click this button all the time. You have to come in and do it. I mean, it doesn't save it. And it says save, but you have to individually do it every time. But now when I make a post, it's going to send it to both LinkedIn and to Twitter at the same time. So that saves me a little bit of time and energy, right? You can upload a video here, but the video has to be less than 10 minutes. My advice is do about 8 minutes of video and upload it, because it's also about size. So it's not just about time, it's about sizing. So, roughly less than 10 minutes, but 8 minutes is a good guess. Now, let's go to write an article. So all I did was click write an article button. Inside here, it stores for me my drafts, my current articles that I have written, There's actually some articles with some faces that you would recognize in here. I know my friend Ron is in here. But anyway, he's in here somewhere. Ron, where are you? There's lots of articles in here. It seems to be repeating. But so there's Jeff, and there's the executive director of American Cancer Society, who's one of the affiliates of mine for the nonprofit fundraiser, like I mentioned. Now it does show their heads cut off in some of these, but they really aren't cut off. They're really when you click on them, it opens up just fine. So that's where some of your articles live in this space. And here you want to use in Canva the blog header. That's the template you want to use for the image. And again, you can find pictures on Pixabay. Headline, there's free, just really Google the words free headline generator. And you can get some snappy, snazzy ideas of how to title your image. You really need 5 to 10 sentences. And then your end of article signature line, as well as a video, and then bam, you're done. I mean, this does not have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be an essay. It doesn't have to be 20 pages long. Add some thoughts, add an outline, add a couple of bullets about what you're talking about or sharing about in the video you've done. And then you're able to reshare this to Facebook, Twitter, reshare it to LinkedIn. It's a living micro website. So this means anywhere you can put a URL, like an email, a text message, a LinkedIn message, a Facebook message, wherever you can share information with people that they can click it and go, they will take them to this page. To upload a video is super simple. I stick with Vimeo or YouTube. Sometimes there's other formats that they're compatible with, but those are the easiest and more likely to work here. They say and more, but I'm not buying it. I haven't had great luck with anything but YouTube or Vimeo. And then you publish it, and easy peasy, and you can republish it. And this video can be updated and edited a year from now to be relevant. And you can even say, I originally wrote this article a year ago. I have updated to make it and reflect more relevance. Here's some of the things that have changed in the industry since I wrote it last. And then republish it. I mean, it makes your life with social media posting easier, and you are a leader and a thought leader if you're the one getting stuff out there in article and blog and video format. That positions you as an industry leader. Okay, so that is super, super important to do. Now, with that, I think that is kind of a good starting point for most people in the space of LinkedIn. And I would love to give some chance for the leadership team or anyone else for that matter to ask a few questions and see if I can't be helpful from that standpoint.
Sure. I would go ahead. What do you feel like is the main difference between content produced on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn?
So,
in terms of what's going to get more engagement?
Well, engagement's a tricky thing. Typically, engagement is high when the question is about them. Our favorite things to do is to talk about ourselves. So if we put a post out there that says, and I'm giving away one of my good ones that I'm going to do soon. So I'm going to watch all you guys stealing it from me. I know you're going to, highest form of compliment, right? Is if you've written a book in 2020, share us about your book and the comments, tell us what it's about and share the link. Now, don't you think people are going to engage in that and reply, right? So if you ask ourselves somehow and make it relevant to them, then they're going to take the time and energy to engage. Unless it invokes some sort of human emotion, some sort of powerful, you know how much energy we have to put out in making the post in order to get them to take the energy to reply to it. I realize it's only a clicks and a few types, but I'm just telling you, it is harder than you think. We have to reach through the screen and grab hold of them and shake them a bit. You know, there is this thing about disruption in order to get high level engagement. And the other thing is, don't get so hung up on that, right? You really be surprised how impactful just the awareness. So just the fact that I scrolled through, we must have saw Kevin's post several times. I didn't like, share, a comment in it, but I'm aware that something going on in Kevin's world because I saw that. So just because we see it and roll past it doesn't mean, oh, my posts aren't getting any engagement, so they must not be doing anything for me. I mean, do you engage with a billboard? You drive down by and the road on the way to your house every single day? No, you see that puppy though, and eventually it has an impact on us. So don't give up, be consistent, and don't worry if you don't have 1 million followers, 1 million likes, 1 million shares, because you are spreading education. We're educators, we're leaders, we're helping people think differently and making them aware of educational opportunities that are available for them with our classes and our workshops. So don't discredit what you would think is a low engaged post, because that is not necessarily true. We don't get to see how many necessarily all the eyeballs that saw it, whether they push like, share, comment or not, right? And then create in your world some share groups. So get those 12 to 15 to 20 people who are circles of influence, who are also trying to reach their audience and build this thing that you, same like you're doing, like-minded people, and put them in a message feed. So Facebook message feed and a LinkedIn message feed, and you're all in that same chat. And every day, everyone shares, one post, and then everyone does their very best. We have lives, we have jobs, we have families. We do our best to like, share, comment, and tag that other person, because then we're giving this some real, genuine human touch, and we're supporting one another in the way that we should be as entrepreneurs and as business owners. When we form together, we are so much stronger and so much more powerful than when we try to stand alone with our engagement and our posting.
Jessica, actually, thank you so much. In the interest of time, we will actually end the call soon, but I just hope for the audience, you are elated a little bit, if not for anything else, from Jessica, for his energy. And I know she's full of energy, and by now you also understand that it's not only energy, but she has the real capability and knowledge about LinkedIn and to train you. I have taken few courses of hers and still haven't implemented all of them, and some of them actually gave me already some edge to my LinkedIn profile. So I would highly recommend you to go back and watch this video one more time and take notes and implement that. But with that, again, I apologize, but we had so many things to cover. I think we probably need to bring her on only for some questions next time or something like that. So that's what we need to do. Otherwise, I'm sure we already ran over some time, and we're going to run over. But unless there is some quick, 5 seconds comments or anything like that, I would like to end this as soon as I can. All right, so thank you so much. Thanks everybody. So we will see you next week. Until then, please take care and have a wonderful week.
Goodbye. Great job, Jessica.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Jessica.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Bye.